Hey everybody, Dave Clark, aka The Pattern Guy. Another day in the pattern shop here. We're hopefully going to wrap most of this bronze arm bracket off, okay? So, I finished laying this out last night. We got the stock for the ribs mostly cut out. Like I said, there's one that's coming this way that actually has a little bit of another boss extending into it. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to make that all in one piece instead of adding that on. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. But basically, here's what we got going. Hopefully, you can see this good. Like I said, laying this out without like a square edge or anything, what we had to do was work off the center lines. Okay, so instead of I couldn't put a protractor on here or anything. So basically what I had to do, I went from, horizontal center line to the vertical center lines, got measurements, and I got the different points of where to go to. Alright, so that's how we did that job. Okay, so last night we glued the bosses on. We're going to start doing the ribs. Basically what you can do is I have to have a rib coming down here. Okay, so I took part of the stock, put it up next to this boss, just scribe the line, and we'll get started with this one. Okay, I'm going to go take this over the oscillating spindle sander and cut this one out. At the same time, I'm going to put an end on this boss right here too. Okay, so I'll do that on an oscillating spindle sander. If you don't have an oscillating spindle sander, which a lot of guys probably don't have, like I said, you can get some smaller ones. Like if you're just getting started out, get some smaller ones, fairly inexpensive, a couple $100. I think the one I got started with, we had a homemade one first, and then we went to Grizzly. That wasn't a bad, for a Korean job, it wasn't too bad, So that one actually, I think I paid $6.25 for them. I think they're close to $1,000 now. They got, pretty expensive, but it's, and by the time you paid $1,000, you could probably find a good used, I don't know if you'll find a master, but they had one that was called a Max, M-A-X. I'm not sure what that was, an acronym for. I believe it was an acronym. State was, you had like master, and then you had state, and then there's a whole bunch of other different things. I had one, I went from the Grizzly, then I went to one, it was built in Pennsylvania, actually by a pattern shop during World War II. They cranked a ton of that stuff out, so you can find them around. Like I said, I'd rather buy one of those old used ones, versus brand new Grizzly, So anyhow, if you don't have a spindle sander, and like I said, when I try to do this stuff as good as you can, okay, try to teach you stuff as good as you can. Pattern making, it's kind of like, there's an expression of furniture joints. Carpenters don't use furniture joints. They would never get anything done, okay? We use furniture joints as much as we can, all right? Take the little bit extra time there is, try to get joints as close as you can, and the thing of it is, the reason why you're doing that is it's a strength thing for the patterns, okay? So, oscillating spindle sanders, you don't have one. If you cut this radius out with it on a bandsaw, like I said, more than likely you're going to probably be using the plastic fillets. You can mush some plastic in if there's any gaps in that, and put a nice plastic fillet around, you should be good. And that's, a lot of guys are starting to do things like that, not be as careful. It's good and it's bad. You got to make money, you got to keep up with everybody else. I can understand that, but you got to take a little bit of pride in what you're doing too. You know, anybody can do work like that. You know, so try to do stuff as best you can. All right, let me go take these on the oscillating spindle sander, and I'll show you how we're gonna get the ends in that, and then hopefully too. I'm sorry again today. Something's up with my sinuses here, so I'm having a hard time talking. So hang tight, guys. Okay, guys, just got off the oscillating spindle sander. I cut this one, and you can see, all right, how nice and tight that'll get a good glue joint. And then this one here, this one here's got to go on there too, and we got a nice tight joint in there. Okay, now this is kind of like obscure. What we'll do next, the next step here is I got to find where these things are going to intersect. Okay, now one of the obscure things about why I'm telling you, and you get these joints as close as you can, it's a little bit of a physics thing. So that's where, you know, I'm not a physics genius by far. I know basic physics, and a lot of it just applies to this stuff. Okay, but basically what you're looking for, the tighter you get that, the more surface area you have that's sticking to each other. Okay, so that's the goal we're doing, right? So if you just do a big bandsaw cut and only a little, like half of it's touching the other part, you know, you're not going to get a good joint. It's not going to be as strong, right? So that's why we're doing this. All right, so what next step I'm going to do is here, I've got this line coming down here. Now that's the edge of the casting, all right? So I got to have that go here, all right? So this is the piece that I actually want to extend past here. But what I'll do is I'll take this mark here, this line here, I'm going to put this piece on here, get the center lines, and if I didn't show you this too. There's why we put center lines, right? So I can line this up, and then we'll extend this one up once we cut the edge off. All right, so I got this down here, so I got my mark here, and here I'll put that on this rib, put a square line, I'll cut it, and I know that's where I gotta go. Okay, so that's the next step I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna get my two lines here, and it should be square. I should just be able to do one, but while it's on here, just put the other mark, and then that way it's, you know, we know for sure, right? Make sure that they line up with each other. Now this, like I said, this is butting into, and check it out, it looks good with the other line. Okay, so that should be where we're at. Now we're gonna butt these two into each other. Okay, I got a 3-degree mark on here, or a 3-degree angle on here, right? So that way, that's I know I gotta put plus 3 degrees. I got the mark on the bottom, I gotta go plus 3 degrees. All right, so hang tight, I'll go do that. Okay guys, just cut this one to length. This is the one here that I want to extend. So I didn't have that on the layout. I'll lay that out real quick, and then I'll make that. And then from there, we got the rib here. We'll do that rib there. Then I'll glue this up, and then probably what we'll start doing is I'll make a start on that other pattern. Well, you know, yeah, I can probably, oh, you know what we should probably do is we'll pin these, get the other half going a little bit too. Forgot about that dastard the other half there, so we'll get this going here. Hang tight, guys. Okay guys, we got this. We gotta put this little extension here. It's 3/4 wide. And is it? Wait a second. I think I made a goof here. 5/8. It's 5/8 of an inch wide. 5/8 of an inch extends out. I put a 5/16 radius on there. Okay. That's why it's always nice to go by the drawing and you know, casting both. You know. So see what it says under right. 5/16. All right. There's that, and then we'll get the tangency, the radius. Set our marking gauge. Okay, trace this out. Show you what we did here. Okay, there it is. Instead of adding that little piece on, we're just going to cut it out in one piece, make it a little stronger. It's going to be a little bit of a booger to cut it out, but you know, it'd be way stronger if we just put that little piece on. That wouldn't have been that good. So, alright, let me cut this out, guys. Hang tight. Okay, guys, like I said, I'll admit my mistakes. Not watching what I'm doing here again. Not a big, huge deal, but I took this as far as the center line instead of marking a line out. But that's where we're at. I gotta put a radius in there with some plastic, so that'll work fine. We'll be good there. So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue these things on. I'm gonna clamp them. And I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. I got some other stuff going on too, so I'm gonna do that for a little bit. Like I said, it's hard making decisions on what I should do and gotta do and all that stuff here. So it's a bear. You know, I'll probably do. We'll catch you guys in a minute. I'm gonna head over and do something else for a little bit, and then I'll get back to this. All right, hang tight. Okay guys, back on the pattern here. Alright, so we have this basic shape all done. Alright, I got it all sanded out with 2 degrees, 3 degrees draft on there. Okay, now we got this bottom piece, we pinned it. Okay, so all I'm going to do is line the pins up. Alright, now I'm going to take my marking knife, mark that out. And then it'll be -3 degrees draft. Alright, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll just start gluing all the ribs and bosses on here, okay? There are 2 other little features on here that I gotta get done too. There's gotta be a little boss here, and then there's a pad here, but I'll worry about those lately. The pad I'm not worried about. I'll probably put the boss on here so I don't forget. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this one aside. And I'm going to get working on that one where we're going to make a master in a mold. Like I said, I should have probably done that one first, because then I, you know, can pour while I'm, you know, doing things on this and that. But I got another one to do also, plus we have the repair to do too. We'll get to that too. But we'll do these like in a little bit of series here in that. Try not to get too boring here. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So you saw me do this one. So we'll cut this one where it's at here. Then what we'll do is we'll, once I start working on the master in the next day or two, I'll get the camera out for that one. And I'll show you how we start doing that one. That way, show you how to make a mold and some masters and that. I'm just going to set this one aside. Then I'm going to work on the third one. We'll build it together too. And what I'll do is I'll sit in, like I said, traditionally pattern makers don't sit. I'm getting old, my feet are getting tired, my back's a train wreck. So what we'll do is we'll get everything done, and then we will sit and we'll put fillets and rounds and all that stuff in there, okay? So we'll just do it all at the same time, you know, instead of going back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, okay? So with that, really quick too, I'm going to bluster a little bit here. I've been watching on YouTube War Factories. It's a good series. It's all about how we got into manufacturing here in the United States hugely during World War II. Great series. You guys can watch it. It's awesome. And it really, this is a thing where I want to get things back here, because just watch a series and there are things happening around the world right now where we basically won World War II by out-manufacturing the Germans. Alright, I don't want to get political, but there are countries right now that can out-manufacture us. So we can't let it happen, you know. So anyhow, that's why I want to get this going. Again, here, please, you know, if you got buddies out there that are interested in this stuff a little bit, please pass my name on to them. Link them to my channel here. I'd appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd appreciate it. And please push the like button for me. Like I said, we got a long way to go with this stuff, so I want to keep it going. So everybody have a good one out there and stay safe.